You're listening to a Destiny Park Media podcast.
Last week we were joyous. We were bouncing around and jumping from topic to topic. And this week we're going to be more focused.
Oh, we are now.
Yes, we are men.
We are men of focus.
Last week we were kids in a candy store.
I mean, I don't mind the kid-like activities. I mean, in moderation, of course.
Yeah. Let's be very careful there. But
yes.
I saw you were watching Blippi, or
some Blippi.
Blippi, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't watching him per se, but I was doing a toothbrush song for the young one,
the kiddo.
Yeah, and so we were actually watching some random guy named Danny Go. I've never heard of him, but apparently I showed him in school or something like that. So getting put on to some new stuff. I like to stay in my wheelhouse. Blippi, Wiggles, Blippi, Wiggles, obviously Mika. Shout out Mika. Who else? Who else is in that wheelhouse?
There's Miss Rachel.
Yeah, what's funny? We never got on that train. Yeah, it's because Rachel was bubbling kind of at the beginning of the pandemic. Like, she kind of spawned out of the pandemic, I think.
Well, I think I saw her when I was watching my little brother when he was born in 2006. So I would sometimes babysit or whatever when he was like 5, and that was around 2010. Maybe it's a different,
like, probably lady. A different lady, because I think I remember Rachel saying that they were talking about her and her success and stuff. She's like, yeah, during the pandemic, blah, blah, blah. And maybe she did pop up and maybe stopped or something, but...
Well, there was this one chicken thing called, like, Chica.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like a squeaky toy sound.
Yeah.
But way higher.
Yeah.
I would hurt my... So you can do that.
Yeah.
You have no fear, but I'm sort of to singing what Ippo is to boxing.
I'm a very tenorish man.
Sure,
that's probably why.
Yeah, but you think that you have a high voice.
I do.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I think you have a normal voice.
Oh, good.
A man's voice.
I'm glad.
If we were trying to like choose pitches for you, if we were trying to have you sing pop songs, we'd have to tune them down.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
No,
I respect that.
I think maybe you don't listen to yourself on mic as much as I do.
Yeah.
On microphone.
Yeah.
Not mic.
You don't listen to yourself like Mike or on mic. Yeah. No, I don't. You're right. But.
Both of our names are Michael.
Yeah.
And we host a podcast.
Some may not have heard of it.
That you're listening to right now.
Yeah.
Called the Akira Slide podcast. And I pronounced that in an interesting way, but that's sort of my job on the show is to
pronounce things interesting. That's true.
To just mispronounce everything, even things I've said right a million times.
That's true.
Last week we talked about all sorts of stuff, but this week we're only going to talk about one thing.
I'm excited because I have no idea what he's talking about.
I don't know either. All I know is that I wanted to start off this episode saying we were like kids in a candy store
running around.
But for me right now, I have very little that I'm excited about. So I'm curious how we're going to do this.
Oh, well, you know what? Things are popping off things are popping off. Things are starting to reintroduce themselves in April. So I started, away from anime, actually.
Nani?
I started watching the new season of Black Mirror, yesterday, in fact. I've only gotten through 2 episodes, and, I think as the show goes on, but as I watch more and more, I'll probably give a few, some updates on the show, because it's one of my faves. I've always been a fan of like shows like Twilight Zone and shit like that, like these mini stories within a story. And definitely Black Mirror does that. And I used to have this theory before, like, I don't think it's ever been confirmed, But my theory was that Black Mirror is actually like takes place in one universe.
Sure.
And like it's just different time periods that each episode is taking place. So it's like some will be early in the future and some will be super far into the future, but it's all the same thing because they're now more blatantly referencing things that appeared in like older episodes as like Easter eggs and like just fun like for old fans and stuff like that. But like the technology you'll see like used in some old episodes will reappear again in like later seasons and stuff like that. So I always believed it to be that, but I started watching the new season 7, and I would say it's definitely back to its older roots, which is kind of more scary, scary tech stuff or scary story scenario with a little bit of comedy in there. Just a little bit, though. Not a lot. It has some humor, but then there's ones that are like super far left and a lot darker. And
far left.
Far right.
You scared me there, man.
It's far left politics.
This podcast is not far left.
No. I don't like to be far anything, to be honest with you.
I like to just vacillate. It's not a word. Vacillate between both sides, so nobody can ever catch me.
You're bobbing.
They don't know where I stand.
You're weaving.
Yes.
You're Dempsey rolling.
Dempsey rolling. That's right. Well, you're not the first person I've heard mention this new season of Black Mirror. Yeah, and it being good. So
Oh, sure.
Yeah. I haven't watched Black Mirror in many years. And it's a tired take. I already said why I don't, but
say it again, actually, because I don't recall.
Okay. All right. Well, just it's hard for me to, in our current landscape where tech is evolving at a rapid clip, and where we do live in a dystopian type of time. It's hard for me to go, I just got off work. Let me crack open a cold one and watch
somebody die by their phone.
That's a good way to describe it. Or like a VR. This guy puts on a VR headset and it's like secretly killing him.
Yeah, he can't take it off of his head. He's like, get it off me.
There's actually a Godzilla VR game. I didn't know about this until today. Yeah.
That's sick.
In America, yeah. So you don't have to fly to Japan.
Oh, that's dope.
I don't know where it is. I hope I find it someday.
You know what's funny? You live next to a specific mall that has a VR like station in it. I feel like it's got to be there. I don't know, but I would assume that it would. You know the store I'm talking about.
No, but I know which mall you're talking about.
Yeah, and it's right next to the movie theater. So like movie theater, VR thingy. And then some other stuff.
Let's call them right now. Let's
give them a call. Hey, you guys got the new Gods.
But we're going to say it like super fast so they can't understand what we're saying.
What do you say?
Would you guys know Godzilla?
You know Godzilla?
You Godzilla?
You Godzilla?
You Godzilla or no?
Godzilla or no?
Is it offensive to bring up the Dave Chappelle meme where he says, y'all got any of those? And he's the...
Oh, he's the... what's the
Tyrone?
Character? Yeah, Tyrone Biggums or whatever his name is.
I don't remember the character's name.
Yeah, Tyrone Biggums.
He's on...
He's like a crackhead. Yeah.
And a popular meme is, y'all got any more of those... So, that's me for the Godzilla VR game.
He's on the phone scratches. Y'all got anybody Godzilla?
Yeah. Godzilla? So I'll check that out, but you would have to come here and say, Mike, I just saw the best episode of Black Mirror ever. It's worth the $500 Netflix 2-week subscription.
You know what's hilarious? You would probably love... I don't know if you would... The first episode kind of plays on that, what you just said, as a joke.
The subscription model?
Yeah, in a different type of way.
Yeah.
And it's humorous.
Okay.
And I think, obviously, you'd get the joke right away. So
okay.
It's but it was entertaining. I actually enjoyed that, but the second episode was a standout to me. Because it got really into the old school style of Black Mirror, which is like a mystery, like something's happening in the episode that can't be explained right away. And when I'm watching the show, like my head goes to, okay, something's going on. I usually it's usually something technological is going on. Like, but who's doing it? What's happening? Is it just me? is it the character? You know what I'm saying? So you're kind of ruminating about what's happening, and then it makes itself clear.
Yeah.
And then all hell breaks loose. So like that was really great, classic Black Mirror tension. Good tension builder. It was nice. I think the only thing with Black Mirror, like watching it now, having not seen it in a while, I've watched all these seasons up to this point, but there's been gaps between, especially from the last season to this one. And sometimes I wish they had more time, even though the episodes are long. They're like an hour, like 50 minutes probably. To like an hour or so.
Yeah, some of them are like an hour and 30.
Yeah, like I wish that maybe like some of those stories could even be fleshed out a little bit more, because like I like what they're doing, but then I feel like they kind of have to move. Yeah, because I can feel like the time is running out on some of the episodes. So like that'll get like an okay rating for me. Like I'd like it, like the storyline and stuff, but I can tell like they're moving it along. I'm like, kind of wish it was kind of more. You kind of lived what was happening, and then the next thing happened, and then the next thing happened. You know, so
I definitely like to love a few different Black Mirror episodes.
Yeah.
Just haven't watched it in years. The last one I watched was the one about the fighting game, where
you know why I'm laughing?
Why?
It's just a lot of that's like in the Black community. It's like a little bit of like anybody that's watched Black Mirror, like. There's this like everyone has a weird thing about that episode, and it's probably like some like latent like homophobia a little bit in it, and like so like the episode comes up a lot of times because of that.
And just saying this one's trash because of that.
Not trash. They're just like they tease it.
Okay, no,
it's to tease, I guess.
And you know me, I'm not saying I stopped watching the show because of like
you were like no more.
Well, they lost me.
That's it.
That's super unrealistic. I that was around the time when like watching anything for me was so hard because of my OCD stuff.
Oh, sure.
So I had to keep rewinding and like turning on closed captions and then turning them off because I'm like, oh, that's distracting.
Yeah, I'm reading it.
No. So it's not anything to do with that.
Got it.
I don't appreciate the the implication.
How dare you, sir?
How dare you? I'm actually a non-traditional man.
Yeah, there you go.
you are a traditional man.
That's true.
On the show, and I am the non-traditional man.
Flag me. It's okay.
Yeah. But in terms of what's been going on for me, I do have big news.
Oh, let's hear.
Straight from today.
Ooh,
it's
brand new news.
Less than 24 hours old. Yes. So. In preparing for the pod, I realized I hadn't done any, quote, homework, really.
Sure.
Barring 2 episodes of Hajime No Ippo.
Yeah.
But I was like, gosh, I haven't really watched much anime. I've been busy watching the dogs.
Oh, yeah.
I watched the old dogs because Mom was out of town.
Yep.
And so I haven't had as much time to, like, do much.
Yeah.
Besides practice guitar. And,
of course. Music stuff.
Take care of the damn animals. Or danimals, if you want to call them.
Yeah. Very hungry. Yeah, exactly.
But today, I threw on, I was bored, and I'm like, I don't want to keep just staring at my phone. I got to stare at a bigger screen.
Oh, there you go.
So I said, you know what? Let me give it one more chance. Let me throw on this show.
What's going on? Yeah.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh, you threw it back on.
Yes, I threw it back on. It's not like last week I was saying I quit.
No, it was not that.
Yeah, but I was feeling like maybe I should quit.
Right.
Because I was not feeling very happy about it.
Right.
Episode 8 of Jujutsu Kaisen. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the entire episode.
Oh, nice. Okay, so this was not one of those weird, like, was it episode 6 or 7? 7 that did this weird turn?
Yeah, this weird turn where I probably would have been fine if I hadn't had, like, set expectations.
Sure.
But I was like ramping up, man. I was like, Gojo, he's about to have this great moment. And then I said, you blew it. You didn't even do it the way you should have. This is how I wanted you to do it. Little did I know I could there's a website you can go to write your own stories.
Oh.
It's called fanfiction.net. But anyway.
I've heard of them.
Yeah. Good site.
Oh, yeah.
Or Wattpad. Wattpad.
I
think it's Watt.
Wattpad.
Wattpad,
yeah. That's a different site.
So yeah, we're on fire today.
Yeah.
Is this thing on? It still is. Okay. So the reason why it's a great episode is because there's like sort of captivating villains or antagonists rather, because they had villains the past few episodes. Sure. But the female lead and the Sasuke-like character are preparing for like an inter-school. There's a rival sorcerer school. Sure. It's not sorcerer, but I don't know the term for all this stuff yet. Understood. Jujutsu school. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they're preparing an event where they're going to basically do like a tournament and face off against each other. And these cats, these two people from that school showed up unexpectedly and are they're getting into a brawl. I don't want to spoil anything for you. Of course. But the way it happens is it feels kind of true to how, if teenagers had powers, how they would talk to each other. Okay. How things would escalate. I like that. And, it's a male and a female character, and the male is kind of the antagonist. He's antagonizing them and like kind of threatening violence. And I see, but he's still trying to be cool. And he tells the other guy, he says, he's basically saying, "I'll give you a chance to like not have this come to violence. If you can answer this question." What type of woman do you like? What kind of question is that? Yeah, it's so great. So it's pretty funny, and all the characters react to it, in a funny way.
You know what? You're saying that does sound very teenage. Everything that you're saying sounds very teenage.
And he goes, "I like tall girls who have a big butt," or something like that. Yeah. But so I won't spoil everything from there. Sure. It's really
chaos ensues.
Chaos does ensue, and there is an interruption to the fight, but it actually is a satisfying interruption where you are now waiting for the tournament because the hero guy, he was about to like say something to the effect of like, I tried to I didn't want to unleash this, but here I go. I see. Like this is preliminary. He's got a trick up his sleeve. I see. Then they're like, their second year or third year, I forget which one, but their higher ups in the school save them and stop the fight. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so it was a really, of course, the animation was stellar, but that's been the case for every episode of this show. Yeah. But it was just really well done. Good
execution.
Gojo had a subplot in the episode where he hates the higher ups. Okay. And the higher ups actually were trying to get Itadori, who's the main character, they were trying to get him basically killed for reasons you'll find out if you watch the show.
So when you say the higher ups, you're talking about the
principal, like school board
higher
members,
ups. Like actual
higher ups,
not kids. Okay,
yeah. And so Gojo, he's always like whining about the higher ups in like every episode of this show. But he met up with the principal and had a meeting with him and was basically just like fearless in how he talked to him. And the principal's this old guy who like comes off as unassuming, but he's basically like Gojo's just calling him on the fact that he tried to get the kid killed. Sure. But it's so funny, this principal guy has like an assistant woman and she's like, "The way you're talking is problematic." And then right after she says that, it like shows her internal monologue and her face changes and it goes, "Oh my gosh, it's freaking Gojo. This is so cool." So she's like an audience surrogate. Why is she fawning over this the student? He's a okay, I didn't explain this very well. Gojo is the like instructor for these kids.
Oh, you know what? I didn't know where he sat in the hierarchy of the kids.
I forget. See, I have this horrible personality flaw where if someone's like giving me a ride home, I think I've mentioned this before, I don't think but if there's a turn coming up and it's like the last turn before I get home
Got it.
I almost said my street. But the fans would be really excited. I will forget to tell the person because like it's like second nature to me. Yeah. So I'm just very selfish, And so
no, I follow what you're saying.
Gojo,
I think a lot of people do that.
Yeah, he's got a blindfold on most of the time, and he's the instructor for these kids. So
okay, so now he's actually cool. He's their superior, I guess you would say.
Yep, and he is their superior, and that's why he's like really pissed off at the higher ups because he's trying to teach these kids, but the higher ups are scared of like the fact that students are becoming more and more powerful, and the enemies are also becoming more and more powerful. So
okay, I can see the allure of Gojo now. Him being like like a super, like is he an adult technically?
I think he's an adult.
Okay, yeah.
I think he's a young adult.
Yeah, so makes sense.
Yeah. So
he has power over them. I guess the kids.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And so that's where a lot of the thirsting over him comes from, because he's a legal adult.
Yes, authority. He's an authority, but a cool authority.
And he's a cool adult.
Yeah.
A cool teacher.
Yeah, cool teacher. There he is. Yeah, he's the cool teacher, the cool semi-hot teacher.
So yeah, and me and this lady we're like on the same page.
Gotcha. She's like, oh my god.
She when he leaves, the old principal guy asks if she can get him a tea, and she's like, "Yes, sir," right away. And as soon as she closes the sliding door in Japanese homes, she chases after him so that she can get a selfie with him.
Oh, jeez.
And at the end of the episode, it shows their selfie that they got, and she's so excited. She comes back to the room where the principal is, and he goes, "My tea?" She hasn't even gotten him the tea. She totally forgot.
So they're trying to build Gojo to actually be like Mr. Aura, man.
Dude, no, he's been... That's like the one positive I've had about the show for all 8 episodes, man.
That's so funny.
This guy he is nothing but aura. I think he's like in a lab. They created him to be aura,
Yeah, like he is aura. Okay.
He's just that guy.
I feel it.
And that, I'd win. Like, it's the greatest line in anime manga history.
AKA Mr. Bitches is another line for those type of characters.
Yes.
Yeah, they're all Mr. Bitches.
Mr. Bitches, yeah. And apparently, I don't know the context, but apparently at one point he asks one of the villains, "You gonna cry?" So yeah, this could be good. This show could get good, but you know me.
They got to work at it though. They got to work for it.
Well, so I watched episode 8 and I'm like, oh, that was actually really good. That was so cool. And then episode 9 started playing and I said, no, I can't. No,
cut it.
Yeah, because I did not want to be let down.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to give the show positive words of affirmation on this podcast.
Fair enough.
Because I feel like if I'm a Gojo head, let's say, or a Itadori stan,
sure,
and I hear every time I've talked about this show on the podcast, I've been negative, I'd be kind of bummed out.
I could see that.
I want to make sure I'm giving it its flowers as well.
You don't want to just dunk on it for a couple of
No. And I want it to be good. Like,
yeah, it should. It should be good. It's not like we want to watch bad content, but
well. There's something to be said for that. No, it's never been bad. That's actually the part that makes it so boring for me, is that it's always serviceable, but it's lacking heart in a lot of episodes. But this felt like, okay, I'm starting to see like the themes of the story, starting to see the heart of the characters, the heart of the cards.
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
The heart of the cards.
Yeah.
Very Yu-Gi-Oh! Like. Now, I was watching a show that I still need to continue watching. But it hasn't like captured, like, I'm interested, but I'm not in love, but I'm interested. But other things that I'm more in love or enjoy pull me away from it. I think I talked about the show, like maybe to you definitely, but the show Monster.
Yeah, you were telling me about that show.
Yeah, like, I really think the concept and idea is dope. And it's a slow burn, and it gives a really long runway to tell the story.
Yeah,
maybe even too long. But it's like it's another 70-ish episode. I think then it's over. I don't think there's like a second season or anything like that. And I started to. It was when I was. It was before we even started the show. This Akira Slide show. So I wasn't fully in my groove. And so I was watching a few episodes, some episodes more interesting than others, but like the concept and idea remained the same, and it was strong. And then it got to a point where like it got really interesting. I was like, oh, okay. We're seeing like the antagonist and the protagonist and his hunt for he's hunting down this mass murderer guy. Just to give it out, it's no spoiler. It's an older show, and it's not really anything to spoil because I haven't finished watching the show, and I'm actually still at the very beginning chunk. Like I don't think I even hit episode 20 yet. Like I think I'm like still in the 10s. It's this, like I said, this was before I was really like in the groove.
Yeah.
So I was very slowly reading subtitles back then, but it's this doctor saves an orphan kid. And his sister, I guess there's like twins. There's two twins, fraternal twins. Is it
fraternal?
Yeah, fraternal twins.
I'm a fraternal twin.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know what's I often forget that. It's so crazy. You are a fraternal twin. It's wild. We should have to talk about that more. I feel like I have questions, but that's interesting. I love that.
Maybe this time you'll remember.
Yes, exactly. It's like, I know you have siblings, but I often forget that you are conjoined.
Conjoined.
No, you're not conjoined.
Oh, dear God.
Dear God.
This is how men relate to each other, is that we tell each other things and then we forget that we told someone something, but then that person also forgot.
Yep, that they also received it. Like, oh yeah, that's right.
Wow, that's fascinating. Wow.
That's fascinating. You know, we like to be re-surprised by things. That's really what it is.
Yeah, it's a childlike sense of whimsy.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank
So
you.
anyway,
that's great. Anyway, so anyway, this doctor, acclaimed doctor in Japan, surgeon, he saves I guess both these fraternal twins. I think one of them got shot or something, and one of the kids, the boy, got shot in the head, and he had to do this really difficult surgery to save him. And it was between saving that kid or saving like a prime minister type like figure in the country.
Okay.
That wasn't really liked, I don't think, by people. Or something like that.
Okay.
I'm probably screwing up a little bit of the background of that because I haven't watched the beginning part of the show in a long time.
And the laugh was an involuntary response by me, but it's a kind of a funny prospect.
It is. So it's like, and I guess the head of the hospital was urging the main character, a doctor, to save the diplomat or whatever you want to call this character. And the guy really didn't want to do. It was a kid. So he wanted to save the kid, and it was like a really hard surgery that the kid had. And the diplomat guy, like his was like a little bit more like rudimentary. Like somebody also could have helped him. Like a little more skill, but not a lot. The kid actually needed like my top tier skill level. So he's like, I'm going to save the kid. Goes to save the kid. Does it. Executes it. Nails it. Diplomat dies. Because the guy, whoever was doing surgery, wasn't as good. And just couldn't pull it off. Saves the kid. I think he got fired from that job because he decided to save the kid or something like that. And he went to move to like a different hospital or something like that. Anyway, that kid grows up and ends up killing a bunch of people. They don't know it's him. And like later in like a few episodes later into the show, he finds out that the killer is this kid that he saved a long time ago.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So now he has all this, he feels conflicted because he's like, it's one of those weird things where you're like, I did the right thing, but I may have made the wrong choice, saved the wrong person if he ended up turning into like this killer. Yeah. And then more and more goes on where like the kid actually was like he's like a psychopath. Yeah. He grew up and I guess like his sister was the one that shot him.
Oh, okay.
She tried to save the family, their adopted foster parents from him because he was like causing mischief and a lot of crazy shit. So the kid, I guess, like she finally had enough of it and had to stand up, try to kill him, and I think she told it like later on. Was like, why did you save him? That type of shit. Yeah. So he finds all this stuff out later, and I think he gets this like big guilt and like confusion, like, damn, I did this thing and it wasn't right, and the kid keeps killing, and I guess the kid's like thanking the doctor, but the kid's a psychopath, so like he doesn't have a lot of emotion, so he's like I'm going to keep killing people and you're not going to catch me and that type of shit. And so the guy's like hunting the kid down, like trying to find where his whereabouts are and trying to catch people before he runs into people and kill. So it's a really cool idea. So the doctor becomes like, he leaves his doctoring job and tries to just like he's just on the move, on the run, looking for this guy, looking for this kid, like settle it, like because put back the fate that was for him, basically. And so that's kind of where I stopped. Like, there's a lot of side stories and side characters and it's really slow building and it's dark. It's cool. It's like a dark drama. So I really enjoyed it. But I couldn't keep watching it. I couldn't keep a good pace of watching it. And it's a show that I just need to get back into, especially in my I guess semi-anime downtime, that I should really just try to rifle through some episodes. The episodes are also kind of feel very long too. Just the way that the story is told is a little laborious, a little bit. But it's good. It's a great idea. And I like the tone of the show. It's very different for an anime, like kind of dark and I like it though. I like it. Monster is the show. I think it's highly rated. I would see it a lot of times on like lists, like best anime lists. Oh yeah, Monster always shows up.
I've seen it on best anime lists or manga lists along with Berserk.
Along with Berserk, exactly. Yeah. So like I was like, what is this show? I always hear this monster. So I checked it out. I like it. I'm gonna try to. My plan is to watch more and tune the people into what I'm seeing. Okay. You as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm a person too. I would say there is nothing wrong with restarting if you want to give something a second chance and make sure that you're not missing. Because sometimes if you take too long of a break from something, you can come back to it and be totally lost.
Yeah, you lose the context of the tension of this stuff. But
and you are now Mr. Anime. So
yeah, I've really become until I watch Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah, you gotta watch that. Nah, man.
This is how I feel, yo, because Jujutsu is like the new it kid. Yeah. Or one of the new it kids. The newest it kid, though, is our beloved Dandadan. That's the new it kid.
Although I don't know if it's at it kid level yet.
You're right, because it's not as popular as Jujutsu Kaisen.
It's still really beloved. Yeah. It's kind of like, it's got a hardcore cult following right now. Yeah. But I think with the second season, it could potentially blow up.
It could.
Into Jujutsu Kaisen level threat.
I'm actually still confused on how Jujutsu Kaisen became as big as it was in such a fast period of time. That's why I'm saying, I'm not a real anime guy because I haven't even watched Jujutsu yet.
It just showed up one day.
I'm telling you, yo.
That's how it showed up for me. Is just, and I didn't know it was a shonen anime. Like I thought it was like a Pretty Boys on Ice type of show. Pretty Boys on Ice. there is like an anime where it's like male figure skaters. I think. Sure. But it's not called Pretty Boys on Ice. I don't.
It's a good name though.
That's the anime we should write.
We should write Pretty Boys on Ice.
It'll be a satirical anime.
You say that. You know what the idea that came in my mind just now? If we could, I'm sure this exists. Some of our female listeners may know it, or male listeners that are tuned into this style. But if we could do you know how Titanic was like a huge hit with everybody, but women like especially really resonate with it deep inside of them. Something James Cameron did where it's just like, it speaks like to the soul. You know what I'm saying? Like they're connected with that shit with Titanic. I remember, like, I don't know. Yeah, man, you know, we grew up in the same time period where like you had a sister. Do you identify a little bit? Like, did she have an obsession with the movie when it came out? Or do you remember like any like really being head over heels for that movie, or even Leo at the time? Like it was a big thing back then.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I remember we all went to see it in theaters.
Oh, so you saw it in theaters? Okay.
Yeah. And I think my mom really loved the soundtrack.
Sure, yeah,
and bought the soundtrack. was crazy into it.
Mm-hmm.
The comic strip Foxtrot by Bill Amend, I want to say, they made tons of jokes about Paige, the older sister, loving Leo and loving Titanic, and the mom loving Titanic too.
Of course.
So it was a big thing for the femme presenting.
Yeah. I mean, I love the movie as well, but
I haven't seen it since I saw it in theaters, so I can't say.
Oh, really?
I can't say.
That was the only time you've seen it.
Yeah.
That's amazing, actually.
Draw me like one of your French girls. I promise I don't think that's how she said it.
By the way, Kate Winslet, she's special. She's a special actress that I don't think gets enough credit. But anyway, my point was to make an anime that felt and had that hold on like a female populace. That would be like the next big thing. Like, I don't know how you do it. I think I've seen shows that like kind of get there or come close, or they go too it's too femme, like where it's like not big enough to like be like universal. But if somebody can make an anime show that like hits on that level, that would be amazing.
The first show I think of is like Inuyasha or Fruits Basket.
Yeah, you're getting close with Inuyasha. Yeah, getting close with Inuyasha.
Fruits Basket is really good.
I haven't seen that.
You should see it. Yeah, fantastic.
Same
show.
era.
Little after Inuyasha.
Okay,
a little after.
I guess Sailor Moon, but Sailor Moon is so old that like it's not in that same space anymore.
Well, but there's newer seasons of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's new animated seasons of that show.
Oh, shit.
Or series.
Yeah, series.
And there's live action now.
I would
the stage play or whatever.
Yes, I saw something about. Did you send me something?
I sent you that. Yeah, it's a touring production. I think it already came to Minnesota.
Oh shit! I forgot it was here.
Yeah, it was here.
Damn it! I kind of.
What if I went? And I didn't tell you?
You're like yo.
We just find out right now. I'm like, oh yeah, I went. Yeah, it was pretty good. That could have been part of the show. I guess.
Shoot.
I guess I should have talked about that on our anime podcast. To your point, I don't know that. Like, I think one of the big rules of great writing is write what you know.
Yeah.
And I don't think either you nor I
know could really fit in that box. James did it.
You might, because you have a daughter and a wife. My wife.
My wife.
You're always saying my wife.
My wife. The problem is, I think I'm too much of a traditional man to write a story.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, and I'm sort of this like, for lack of a better term, untraditional man, and I'm actually so unaware of how women think that I'm like a great sounding board for. Oh, sure,
for a traditional man.
Yeah. If you want to like cross over to both women and then incels, then I'm a great writing partner for you.
We make the incel classic.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to serve that pop.
All right, that's fair. Nobody does. That's the problem. Yeah. Nobody wants to serve them. That's good.
Oh, that's real good.
Speaking of incel repellent.
Oh, yeah.
I watched a few episodes of Hajime No Ippo.
Oh.
And I don't know how interesting our little episode reviews are for people, but
we're just big fans.
I wanted to mention this, that there was this 2-episode mini arc. I wanted to text you about it, but I'm like, no, that would burn pod.
Yep.
That would burn pod. I didn't expect it, but they had Miyata in Thailand. And he they actually gave him some screen time, and he was the main character for just 2 episodes.
Yeah.
There's some anime that when they have stories that don't revolve around the main character,
they don't know where to go.
Yeah, but like this show so confidently just goes, here's 2 episodes about Miyata. They don't do any sort of clumsy like device to switch the narrative. They just do it.
Yeah, they're like, we're going to focus on Miyata's journey overseas. Here's 2 episodes, and here's like the problems and the challenges he faces. Go.
And I'm not going to spend too long describing the episodes, but it was a really inspiring duo of episodes, and they did such a great job of showing the frustration he's facing, how his story relates to Ippo, the main characters.
Yeah,
and Miyata is a sort of a thin thin-looking character anyway.
Yeah, he's not a big guy.
No, and yet in the episode they talk about how he has big bones and how he has to work really hard in order to make featherweight every time.
Yes, because I think his stature is a little bigger than some of the people in that division.
Yeah, that's it. I find that stuff fascinating when the show gets technical about stuff. And
yes, I love it.
It's because Morikawa is an actual boxer, and he knows what he's writing about.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Writes what he knows.
Writes what he knows. That's what we just talked about.
That's why I like that you added. That's what we just talked about for any listener who's lost.
They're like, wait a minute, shit, that connected.
We know what we're doing here.
Yep.
We know what the hell we're doing here. To quote a bad man.
Yes, a bad man, dude.
But. So he looks kind of feminine, you know. He's a pretty young man, yeah. And they have him facing off against this guy who is just incredible. The episode does a great job. The first episode does a great job showing that these are incredible odds. There's not really much of a chance for him to win,
right?
But he develops a counter punch to counter all punches. An ultra counter punch.
Ultra punch.
And it's like, it's so great.
It is
so great. And dude, there's that moment in the fight because he gets challenged by this guy who's way above his skill level.
Yeah.
Who's undefeated.
That's right. He was undefeated.
He is the home hero as well, the hometown hero.
Yep.
And Miyata they do a great job showing that even when Miyata clearly beat that one guy on points, the judges somehow said it was a draw just because he was the
away
challenger, away. And, but the dad doesn't want to let Miyata fight him because, the challenge is coming because the guy knows it'll be an easy win. That's insulting.
Yeah. Oh, he was like what they use the term in boxing where like you're the tomato can.
Wow.
Like a tomato can like opponent where it's like this is just some fodder. Like the guy.
I have one from wrestling.
Oh yeah,
Jobber.
Yeah. I'm gonna fight this guy because it's easy work and add another.
He's gonna lose.
Yeah,
it's guaranteed.
Win. Yeah, guaranteed win. Exactly.
Yeah,
I love the weight stuff in this show.
Yeah,
as weird as it is, it's such a weird thing to like really like be like fascinated by, but like it's real shit. Like
yeah, and it takes real sacrifice.
Yeah. The show does it a lot, and like for different people. And yeah, Miyata is running with no water in him.
Yeah.
Like zero water.
Passing out in the sauna.
He's passing out. Like this is like real shit that happens to people training, people trying to get within weight, like that have a hard time. Like they're scraping the barrel to get ounces off at the weight room.
I love the discussion that the dad was having about how it might actually be better for him to move up a weight class.
To me, I thought I was like, why hurt yourself this much?
Because of Ippo.
He wants to be in the Ippo's class.
He wants that Ippo.
Yeah, it's like, you want to, I don't know, to a certain point, I feel like it gets scary where like, when is too much when your body's just like, I don't have any liquid.
Well, it's not healthy.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
It's not healthy, and the show does a good job of showing that it would be a much easier path for him to, it's better to do stuff that's more, like when your body has a natural level that it stays at. There's sometimes in life you want to lose more weight, and your body just holds on to weight for a long time. And there's a reason for that. There's like a homeostasis where it's like, this is like the exact right weight for your body, or I don't know. Everybody's different. But, to fight against your own nature and your own like level, your set level for like, this is what I'm trying to figure out the words to say.
Yeah. Like he's he's also trapped by the fact that he's not a powerful puncher either.
Yeah.
He's a very technical, fast outside fighter. And, a very technical, fast counter fighter.
I think you're right with out fighter too.
Yeah, like, it's not power with him. It's like a lot of, he would be a guy that's like, I'm going to win. He would be like a Floyd-ish type guy. I'm going to win on points.
Win on points. Yeah.
Later Floyd, not earlier Floyd, but
he's stronger than that other guy who wins on points.
Right.
That guy's punches were the show it just does such a great job of giving him the most annoyingly wimpy sounding punches ever. And like when he would like put his hand on Ippo's head and like push him away, on top of his head, I was like, "Fuck you,
this fucking guy."
Yeah, he pissed me off even more than the headbutting asshole.
Yeah, headbutting guys.
Does he ever appear again?
I haven't seen him.
Okay, yeah, they made a character that was so hateable. They go, we cannot bring.
We can't have the headbutt guy back.
We have to have him die off screen.
There's other despicable boxers that will come down.
No,
yeah,
damn it.
They'll. Yeah.
Okay.
There's some characters that come down the line that will be very interesting.
Takamura will destroy them all.
Takamura's the man. You know what's funny shit about Takamura? And then I'm gonna get off Ippo, but I know, right? The funny thing about
don't.
I know, don't do it.
He never wants us to stop talking.
Do not.
Oh, I think I'm gonna switch to sub. I hate to say it.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Because
no problem.
I did watch like one episode as sub and one as dub, and it was so much better subbed.
You're cool with the sub Ippo?
Well, Ippo wasn't in these 2 episodes, so that I love Ippo's dub voice.
So do I. I'm like, I kind of miss hearing him like that.
But I also know that some of the dialogue is much worse in the dub, even with Ippo saying it. Right?
Yeah, exactly. That's very true. Very true.
And there were. Yeah, it was fair to both, and there's certain things I like better in the dub, but
sub is fine. I've gotten used to it now.
Yeah,
now that I had to watch the other seasons that don't have isn't dubbed,
and it's cool to experience both. And there's another side of me that goes, well, I started it. I'm 40 episodes in with the dub, so I might as well finish it with the dub. But gosh, I did feel more invested. Like one of my favorite shocking moments in anime history is when Miyata says to his dad, "It's raining. I'm fine," and his dad says, "You can't hear the rain. Everyone's like cheering their lungs out." And then all of a sudden he realizes, oh God. And Miyata's ears are bleeding. His eardrums were burst. And so he thought he heard rain.
Crazy.
And it was blood. And you're like wondering, oh God, does he have brain damage too? Yeah.
That's crazy because he's hearing the blood flow, which sounds like water in his ears.
And he's clearly not in his right mind.
Right.
Too. And then his dad still lets him keep fighting because it's the stage parent thing where it's like he's starting to want to see his son fulfill his dream too.
Right.
But they don't paint him as a bad guy for it.
No.
It's morally gray stuff, man. And
it is.
Yeah, no, I loved that scene though.
Yeah.
And it was, I watched it in both dub and sub, and unfortunately the sub was
better,
stellar. But the dub, he's like, and I'm not a big fan of Miyata's dub voice anyway. But he's like, I hear rain. I'm fine. No, it's raining, Dad. It's just so strange. So strange.
He does have a weird delivery.
Yeah, it's like a Shadow the Hedgehog type delivery.
Yeah, I'm not a Miyata guy.
Okay.
I'm not really a Miyata guy. He's cool, but Ippo fucking loves him. And like,
no, he loves him.
He loves Miyata, and I'm like, what do you see in Miyata that you just love him so much?
Because he's his first crush.
He is, like, his first pout.
Yeah. Dude, no, it's fascinating how that show portrays that rivalry because we've talked about it. But it's very romantic.
It is.
Like there's tension, and I don't know. They have some good tension together. Like this is proof that I'm not homophobic because I definitely love it. I think it's great.
No, it's very interesting. I think it's cute.
Yeah,
and you
can do better though.
This is what I'm saying. That's what you're saying. That's what I'm saying.
I agree. No, I agree. Miyata, after they had their bout with the they had that first fight where basically the Operation Turtle was the name.
Yeah.
And then they had the follow-up fight. After that follow-up fight with Ippo kind of winning, he lost like his luster. Like,
yeah, it just, and obviously like the episodes that you mentioned, the 2 episodes, he's struggling to find his way.
Yeah.
Miyata is. And so, you know, that it's a fun journey. We'll continue to talk about it more.
I liked the episodes. I think they're 2 of my favorites of the show. So
I will say that the show continues to divert and go to other people, which is great.
I can't wait for the Kimura episodes because he's like this guy who I like his design. I like some of his commentary. Mm-hmm. He's definitely a little bit more with it than Aoki.
Yeah,
Aoki. But I don't have anything on him yet, so I look forward to this stuff.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. Just get through them, and it'll be there.
And I'm not much of a binger, so
that's okay.
I know I got through the first 30 episodes super fast, but I'm back to being sort of slow Operation Tortoise.
It's Operation Tortoise mode.
Kaiju was a once in a lifetime thing, man. I do think that. I wanted to mention this on the show that
sure.
The whole watching multiple shows at once, it's not good for me.
No, I know.
I have a hard time compartmentalizing all these different characters. And, when I finished Kotaro Lives Alone, that was so good for my ancestors are like, what the fuck are you talking about?
What do you mean?
But it helped my mental health
No, it's good. It's
to
good.
finish one of the shows I was watching because I was watching that Kaisen, Ippo.
Yep.
I'm doing a rewatch of Kaiji, and it's like some Daima stuff too. By the way, last week we were so distracted and easily pushed around that I didn't even get to say what I wanted to say about Dragon Ball Daima.
Which was?
It was going to be a thing about episode 20, but I don't want to talk about that now. But we got distracted by me thinking that SSJ4 Goku was...
Oh, that's right. He looked good.
Was hot.
Yeah.
And then we moved on to something else. I don't know what, because I haven't edited the episode yet.
That's funny.
But
diverted.
I couldn't even, I had a reason for talking about it, but then we were like, yeah, he's hot. Yeah,
he's a hot guy.
Hot guy, yeah.
Anyway.
Then some other thing came up. I don't know.
Good times, though. Good times.
Yeah, but yeah, I rewatched episode 20, and the thing I wanted to say was just that that opening bout with Goku and Goma. I think we had gotten so many pieces of good animation in a row. Yeah. For that final battle, that by the time we got that one, it was we were out of... We had too much serotonin in a row.
Yeah, it was already... We already had an expectation, or had been saturated with those moments of fantastic
just
animation.
back to back. And watching it on its own, I was like, holy shit. If I had seen this a few years ago, I would have been like, Dragon Ball can look this good.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And there also the music for some reason was so sparse during that episode, and during a lot of the episodes. It's like they only wrote enough music for 10 episodes.
Yeah, I think that's a flaw.
It's not a perfect show.
No.
But I do have a real soft spot in my heart for it.
Yeah, I think... Yeah, Daima's an interesting beast.
Screonk. Well, that's all I wanted to mention was that we were so overstimulated by
its hotness
that the finale, that opening bout, give it a rewatch sometime. You'll see what I mean.
I will watch that last
cinematic,
fight.
Yeah,
I'll definitely give it a look see.
And he still is a what did you call him? A tanker? No, you didn't call him a tanker. Goma. Yeah, he no diffs. He no diffs everything.
Goma.
He just absorbs everything.
Oh, yeah. So I said he's a bullet sponge.
Bullet sponge, that's right. Yeah.
It's like a video game term.
That's what he is. And they only, they had him doing that for 2 episodes in a row, so it got kind of boring.
That's what I'm saying. It dulls and removes the tension out of it.
Sort of like a Black Mirror thing. It's like Dragon Ball meets Black Mirror. This is my favorite part of Akira's slide is when I can...
You can touch
half-assedly bring up something that you just talked about.
He's like, oh yeah, remember Black Mirror?
Yeah, and it doesn't really work with what we're talking about. And then we laugh. It's like a dad thing.
That is a very older man thing. Or it's like...
or like when you're talking to your kids about something, and I don't know if your dad did this.
Yeah, that's here. I'm sure.
So if our dad was talking about something with us, and then he parked the car and we were about to walk in somewhere, he'd say, like, let's say we were talking about DuckTales or something.
Sure.
He'd park the car, turn off the engine, and then he'd say, all right, let's get going, you DuckTales.
Yes, I do that.
Yeah, I've heard you do that.
Yeah.
That's like, so if you and I were talking about Goma being a bullet sponge.
Come on, bullet sponges.
Come on, you bullet sponges. And then a cop nearby would say, sir, what the fuck?
Excuse you?
That's my job.
On the ground? No, I think...
He's got a sponge.
No, yeah, it's definitely, I definitely use that. It is a very dad thing.
Oh, I love it. If I had kids, I would constantly just...
Especially when they're annoying, that's when I throw it out a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they'll be like, yeah, I'm trying to get candy, just candy. All right, candy head.
Come on, you can't. My dog has the Elizabethan collar on.
Love it.
I've been calling her Conehead.
Come on, Conehead.
Come on, Conehead.
Let's go.
I have... It's so weird. Like, I haven't been as patient with her as I should be. Mm-hmm. Like, on walks, she is, like, seeing what she can get away with and being more pokey.
Yeah.
When we're on the street home.
Yeah.
I keep trying to dox myself.
It's all right. It's all right. Let people know.
Stop on by.
Stop on by.
Brian Wilson had a song called Busy Doing Nothing. Mm-hmm. And in the song, he does detail how you can get to his home.
Oh, really? Without really being super explicit? As far as, like,
pretty good.
He's not saying, like, but you can, if you listen, you can, like, oh, okay, I can hear how to get there.
It was good enough where fans would show up.
That's great, though. I like that little
yeah,
kind of like Easter egg, like,
first, figure it out. You know, he's like, first, take a long road. It's a bumpy one. Dude, you gotta check out. It's amazing.
You gotta send me that.
No, yeah, we should do a Beach Boys Pet Sounds episode.
That's right. I remember we were talking about that.
Yeah, we have so many great episode ideas. I wrote them down earlier today, and I was like, I shouldn't send this to him until we figure out our plan.
Yeah.
For the day.
Mm-hmm.
For the day.
Beach Boys was a carryover because I know we had talked about albums that we really loved in our old show, and you mentioned Pet Sounds, and
well, we could do. I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, you're good.
You were about to say something kind about me, I think.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, you highlighted the album a specific way where it's like, oh, you should check it out because, like, kind of revolutionary in a way. Not revolutionary, revolutionizing something. You had talked about it, its importance, basically.
Yeah, no, it's one of the most influential pop albums of all time.
You're right.
It's one of those albums where people from the rock space, from the pop space, from the R&B space, like, people all over the genre spectrum love that album.
Right.
And there's even... You know when something is so good that it actually attracts fans, but those fans don't hop over the rest of the discography?
Oh, they just stay there.
Yeah, like Weezer's Blue and Pinkerton. There's stuff that's so singularly good that it has its own separate fan base from the artist that made it.
Mm-hmm. I respect that.
Pet Sounds is one of those.
Yeah, I respect that.
Yeah, but Beach Boys, they're amazing. And we should do an episode... where you show me one of your favorite albums and I'll show you one of mine.
I think that's a great idea.
And we'll do that every so often.
I think that's a great idea.
So if I were showing you Pet Sounds, which is maybe my favorite album of all time, what's, like, your favorite album of all time?
Well, it's so funny that you mentioned, like, stuff to share. I was driving, I was doing some delivery stuff far away. Not far away. I was in Hudson. Wisconsin.
Hudson, Wisconsin.
Yeah. Delivering stuff. And I was listening. I had finished, like, the podcast that I was listening to. I was like, I don't really have anything to listen to. I was like, all right, well, I just popped on, like, some Nas. I can't remember why. And then I just went down this, like, rabbit hole of Nas material. And, like, different albums and kind of followed it through his discography. And I was just like, man, I really wish I could like break down like why some of these songs are important from not for just his catalog, but how influential the songs and the lines were to other artists that are out now, and like how they handle themselves and do certain things from a perspective, and like a lot of parallels between like Nas's trajectory as far as like what he wanted to be as an artist, and how Kendrick has kind of formed himself as an artist. But Kendrick's kind of like he's the newer, obviously more Kendrick's kind of become this larger than life character, and Nas is a very interesting guy. He's kind of he wants to be big, but like he also doesn't want to be too big, where like he made an album after he had won the battle between Jay-Z. So like Kendrick won the battle between Drake. So there's a lot of parallels with these guys. So after Nas had won the battle against Jay-Z, he got a lot of fans that hopped on, like new fans. And they were with Nas like on that album that he put out, which was Stillmatic, and then also the Godson album that came after the battle. And he was enjoying his time, but I think he then released a very unorthodox double disc album after that.
Double disc.
Yes, with like a very like hip hop, like non-pop sounding like single called Thief's Theme. And I think even in the verse, he kind of talks about how he's trying to shed some of the pop bands and go back to like like that's kind of his energy, is like, I'm like hip hop, like I'm hip hop, like I'm not here to like be on like TRL and like shit like that, you know, that type of shit. Like versus the opposite of that, which is Jay-Z, who's like Mr. like he's a hip hop guy, but he's Mr. like mainstream hip hop artist, like accepted by not only the hip hop guys, but also like the you know, the semi fans or light fans of hip hop, you know, some of the Eminem stands and things like that. Anyway, those type of, like, he was all about getting those people on board because it's about being bigger, the biggest, you know what I'm saying? I was very like, I'm trying to be like the truest and the, you know, the best.
Sure.
And so he's like, I'm going to divert. He diverted and like shed those fans because the album was like, it's not a huge, it wasn't like a big, I don't think it was a popular album. And then he kind of just went down his trajectory. Anyway, so I say all that to say, I went on this Nas thing, and like one of the albums or maybe a song or something from him, I'll probably break down and go into like why it's important and how it affected like the trajectory of other artists that came after him, because I think it's really important to do so. And Nas kind of gets forgotten sometimes in that era where like it wasn't the beginning of his career, which was like his biggest, everyone knows like his Illmatic album, and it was written album, and you don't even have to know hip hop, like that was his biggest spotlight. And then his other catalog is kind of loosely known about, and I think that it's more important than people put importance on. You know that.
Is that double disc your favorite album?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not my favorite album, but I respect the album quite a bit, and he has some really interesting songs on there. It's not my favorite album.
Okay.
No.
In terms of influence, Pet Sounds, it was so influential because Brian Wilson, he was really inspired by Rubber Soul, which was the Beatles album.
Rubber Soul, okay.
Yeah.
What do you know where that album
1965.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, early.
And
Beatles.
I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And so he said, "Wow, there's an album out there that is only good songs." Because back then in the 60s, the idea was you would put out an album every 6 months, and you would have to have covers on there, skits.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's where this came from. Okay.
Yeah. Crazy, huh?
Yeah.
But he goes, this is an album with only good songs.
Yeah.
And only originals. And
That was like foreign.
So he got shocked and he's like, I got to compete with this. I got to do something even better.
I love that.
Yeah.
Shit,
and
that's when the best shit comes.
Yeah. The competitive nature, you know? And, so he got to work. He smoked a lot, did some LSD.
Nice.
And, he found an advertising jingle writer that he met at a party, and he's like, you seem like you'd be good with lyrics. You want to write some lyrics with me?
Awesome.
And they wrote some of the greatest lyrics of all time together. They'd get together at his house and just like talk about like how we're talking right now about relationships and
sick.
And about like life stuff and moving away from home and
dope.
Yeah, it's incredible. And John Lennon and Paul McCartney, they were like, one of the members of the Beach Boys was meeting with Capitol Records and showing them the new album. And the Beatles heard about this and they're like, we got to hear what Brian Wilson's up to. Like, they always had mutual respect.
I like that, yeah.
The Beatles and the Beach Boys. It was never like a mean-spirited, like, you know, not rooting for each other.
Yeah.
Just mutual respect and adoration, honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
So they meet up with Bruce Johnston in this hotel room, and he plays the album for them. And there was a piano in the hotel room too. And those guys would like hear something on the album and go like, how the fuck did he do? And like try to figure it out on the piano. And they listened to it 2 times in a row.
Okay.
That's how you know you love an album, is if you listen to it and go, I got to hear that again.
Rewind.
Yeah. And so, and that inspired those guys to create Sgt. Pepper, which.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a very influential album for that reason alone, but it did so much more than that.
Of course.
And we can talk about that some other sunny day.
Yeah, when we get into it.
I love Brian Wilson.
That's awesome.
He has been
one of those ones.
One of those ones. He went through a lot. You know, he grew up at a time where mental health and mental illness was not really it was a 4-letter word.
Yeah.
If you said you had poor mental health or you were facing mental illness, that was like, okay, shock treatment now.
This guy's crazy.
This guy's crazy. And, you know, there's the pull yourself by the bootstraps mentality that's, you know, that's still popular to some nowadays, but it's very much passé.
Oh, yeah.
But back then it was like the norm. Like if you had mental problems, you'd be told to suck it up, work harder,
take a long walk.
Nobody listened to him until he had like a breakdown on a plane, and they allowed him to stop touring because they realized, he's like really,
he's out of it.
He's not happy. He does not like playing live, and yeah,
that's interesting, man.
No, he's a genius. He's one of my heroes.
Yeah, for sure. Similarly with me and Nas, it's similar.
Nice. Well, we'll have to do that episode.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Before we close out this episode,
I mean, the only thing I can mention is that we will be doing a review of the Blue Giant movie.
We still have to watch that.
Yeah, as well as the
Look Back.
The Look Back. I found my copy of Blue Giant that I had bought a while back in my closet, and I noticed that when paging through it real quickly, that the manga is actually breaking down a lot of the main character's origin story and how he found jazz and why he loved it, and like him playing through the years. And in the movie that we'll talk about later on in the show, in a future episode, the movie kind of starts with him like already kind of not mastering, but being like his level of pro and going into the city and like finding a band and all this other stuff. So, will I end up reading the manga now that I've watched the movie? Will I go backwards? Maybe. I mean, you never know.
Like this guy's watching the giant. He's watching the monster. Mm-hmm. What is this? Fable?
a fairy tale, if you will.
Sort of dark fairy tale.
Yeah. I'm all in the dark fantasy.
You got it on the same shelf as Berserk.
I know, it's all this crazy, cravenish.
Well, all I can tell you is that a lot of people have called Berserk sort of a modern fairy tale.
It is, yeah.
Dark fairy.
It's a dark fairy tale fantasy. It's funny. I'm not even like that's not even my genre, like fantasy, but.
Me neither. Yeah, I know a lot of girls who talk about like loving these dark fantasy romance novels, and I'm just like, yeah, I couldn't.
Yeah, I don't care.
I couldn't. I don't say that. That's horrible.
Not to the face. What I mean, I don't care about the genre.
They're like, all my boyfriends have wings, and I'm just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
What the hell? I don't care about it. The fucking
shut
wings.
up. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That's horrible. Shut up.
God damn it.
They do not have wings.
Right. What are you talking about?
Men can't have wings.
Just screaming.
Freaking out.
Screaming.
That does sound like something that could happen.
I'm sure. I'm sure it has happened.
If I've had too many drinks.
Not you particularly, but I'm sure a man has done that before.
Yeah. No, we have to get together and watch those movies. We almost did that tonight, but we still have an episode to put out on Monday, and I have not edited that episode, so
yes,
it is going to be hot off the edit press when it comes out on Monday, because we've never put out an episode so soon after finishing the edit.
I guess on the bright side, it's you guys are getting fresh content.
This is the freshest the show has ever been,
which is I actually really like.
I know. I mean,
it's you're conflicted because it's like I like fresh, but
I also
backlog.
I like the backlog. Yes. It makes me feel safe.
Yeah,
warm.
Yeah, warm and safe.
Warm, sort of a warm and safe thing. Yeah. But then I also like that. Like there was a time when the show was not very timely.
Yeah, and it was like behind.
It was behind, and we'd be like, we're on episode 10 of Dragon Ball Daima, and then like the season finale was airing.
It's like, what the fuck?
Who's going to listen to this?
Yeah, I don't want to hear about episode 10.
Y'all got any of those Godzilla? But anyway.
Yeah, we're fresh. We're fresh right now.
We're super fresh, but the moment one of us needs to take a sick break, the show is dead.
The show's dead in the water.
The show's on hiatus, on a week-long hiatus.
6 months. At least. If you will.
Oh, a 6-month leave. Yeah. Too soon, man.
Sorry, that's a little painful, yeah.
Too soon. All right, but let us know your thoughts on how the show's been going. We'll have a survey in the schnotes.
Yeah.
But all kidding aside, no, please review the show on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. Let us know what you're thinking about the show.
Yeah. Give us some topics, maybe, if you want.
You can throw some topics. You can say what you disagree with us about.
Yeah, I want the verver.
Yeah. Verver or fervor?
Fervor, I think is what I was going to say, yeah.
Fervor.
It's
a tough word.
Mm-hmm.
Tough word.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and we're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're on all sorts of apps.
We're reachable.
Yeah. On Instagram at Oculus Slide Podcast, and a lot of great stuff coming up. We just gotta get to it. Get back on top.
Oh yeah. I think we got a lot of stuff in store, and we're just getting started, man. Just getting started.
So I was watching this video by Swell Entertainment, she's a vlogger, and she also does, like, she goes to events, but sometimes she just does videos sitting in front of a camera. And there was this guy named Roman Farr who he announced that he has lost $60,000 on YouTube doing like financial audit style videos. And he's like, I have this super nice studio. I have all the best equipment. I hired an editor, like the best editor money could buy.
Yeah.
He used to work for Amazon, and he made really good money, clearly. But he announced that he's lost $60,000 over the year. And she was saying, like, you know, she liked his content, but she was just honest and said, like, the best thing you can do is just, if you have an idea you want to do, just start now with what you have. Yeah. Don't wait until you buy a nice mic. Don't wait until you buy the perfect webcam.
Yep.
And I'm very proud that you and I, when we launched this podcast, we did that. You know, we
just took it off.
We did take time to talk about the pod for a bit,
of course.
But when we saw that Dragon Ball Daima screening in the theater, we went to your house right afterward, and
that was spontaneous, huh?
Yeah, it was spontaneous. You were like, "Why don't you want to come to my house?" Yeah. And I was like, "Help! No, just,
help me!
Help!"
Yeah.
But and then we were like, "What if we just use the cell phone?" And, yeah, and then I was, it went against my nature. It went against my nature.
I was proud of you. It's for real. I'm not even lying. For real. I was proud. I was like, he's just letting it rock. He's letting it rock with the phone recording.
And it's been, I like the audio of all of our episodes. And, it's just cool to just get started.
Yeah.
We can build on it. We've tried new things. We've tried video and we're going to get there.
Yep.
But,
bit by bit, guys.
Yeah. So we're not, and there's always that side of me that's like, oh, I wish we could record in a studio. I wish we could record here.
That's fun.
And it is a fun thing to think about and it's a fun goal.
Yeah.
But you cut yourself off at the knees when you get like it's a very American thing where we want something that we haven't earned yet.
Yeah.
And we just get it anyway.
Yeah. You're right. Actually,
through
that is
credit,
very American.
Like credit card or a giant loan or But anyway, no, we're doing a fun show here and
we're keeping it meat and potatoes, honestly. It's really about the show is about the show. It's about the topics, is about our love for the things that we're talking about, and that's really what we rest on. So rest our laurels on.
Oh, I was about to say we certainly don't rest our laurels.
I got you. I got it.
All right. But thanks for checking in every week. There's people who check out every episode. We love you.
Yep.
And hugs and kisses to you and your family. And until next week, let's keep sliding.
Yeah, slide on out.
Slide on out of here.